Welcome to our show, where we delve into the annals of history to uncover the fascinating stories that have shaped our world. Today, we embark on an exploration of one of the most complex and tumultuous periods in European history, the 30 Years' War, which ravaged the continent from 1618 to 1648. This conflict, with its intricate web of alliances, brutal battles, and profound repercussions, is a tale that will captivate and enlighten. As we venture into the earliest history of this war, let us set our gaze upon the landscape of Europe in the early 17th century. The Holy Roman Empire, a vast and decentralized entity, stretched across Central Europe, its territories a mosaic of kingdoms, principalities, and city-states. The Protestant Reformation, sparked by Martin Luther's defiance in 1507, had ignited a firestorm of religious conflict, dividing the empire into Protestant and Catholic camps. In the midst of this simmering tension, the year 1608 marked a turning point. On May 23rd, a group of Protestant nobles, fueled by their grievances against the Catholic Habsburg rulers, defenestrated two royal officials and their secretary from a window in Prague Castle. This dramatic act of defiance, known as the Defenestration of Prague, would become the spark that set off the 30 Years' War. As the conflict unfolded, figures such as Frederick V, the Elector Palatine, and Ferdinand II, the Holy Roman Emperor, took center stage. The former, a Protestant leader, would soon find himself at the helm of the rebellion, while the latter, a staunch Catholic, would stop at nothing to crush the dissent. The war would draw in other major powers, including Sweden, France, and Spain, each with their own agendas and interests. The early years of the conflict saw a series of brutal battles and sieges as armies clashed across the German landscape. The Protestant Union, formed in 1608, sought to counterbalance the Catholic League, established in 1609. The war would soon spread beyond the empire's borders, with the Danish intervention in 1625 and the Swedish entry in 1630. As we explore this period, it becomes clear that the 30 Years' War was not merely a conflict between Protestant and Catholic, but also a struggle for power, territory, and influence. The war would test the mettle of leaders, forge unlikely alliances, and leave deep scars on the European psyche. As we enter this critical period, we find ourselves in the midst of a maelstrom of battles, sieges, and shifting alliances. The year 1630 marked a significant turning point, with the entry of Sweden into the war, led by the brilliant and fearless Gustavus Adolphus. This charismatic leader would prove to be a game-changer, bringing with him a modernized army, equipped with innovative tactics and cutting-edge technology. Gustavus Adolphus's campaign was marked by a series of stunning victories as he swept across the German landscape, leaving a trail of defeated armies in his wake. His most notable triumph came at the Battle of Breitenfeld, fought on September 7, 1631, where his forces decisively defeated the Catholic League, led by Count Tilly. This victory not only showcased Gustavus Adolphus's military genius, but also cemented his reputation as a champion of the Protestant cause. As we explore this period, it becomes clear that Gustavus Adolphus was not alone in his quest for glory. Another legendary leader, Albrecht von Wallenstein, emerged as a formidable force on the Catholic side. A brilliant strategist and skilled politician, Wallenstein would prove to be a thorn in the side of Gustavus Adolphus as he navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined the war. One of the most intriguing aspects of this period is the intricate dance of alliances and rivalries that played out between the various factions. The Holy Roman Emperor, Ferdinand II, found himself at odds with the Protestant Union, while also facing challenges from the Swedish and French armies. Meanwhile, the Catholic League, led by Count Tilly, struggled to maintain its cohesion in the face of internal conflicts and external pressures. As we delve deeper into this period, we're struck by the sheer scale and complexity of the conflict. The war was fought on multiple fronts, with battles raging from the frozen tundras of northern Europe to the sun-drenched plains of Italy. The consequences of the war were equally far-reaching, with entire cities and regions laid waste and populations displaced or decimated. In the midst of this chaos, we find a poignant expression of the human cost of war, in the words of a contemporary observer, the war has brought nothing but misery and destruction, leaving behind a trail of widows, orphans, and beggars. These haunting words serve as a reminder of the devastating impact of conflict on ordinary people, caught in the crossfire of great power struggles. The story of the 30 Years' War is far from over, and its impact continues to resonate to this day. As we enter this critical period, we find ourselves in the midst of an exhausted and devastated Europe, where the war had left deep scars on the continent's landscape. The year 1648 marked the beginning of the end, with the signing of the Treaty of Westphalia, which brought an end to the conflict and established a new balance of power in Europe. This landmark treaty recognized the independence of Switzerland and the Netherlands, and established the principle of sovereignty, where states were free to govern themselves without external interference. The Treaty of Westphalia also marked a significant shift in the European political landscape, as the Holy Roman Empire's power began to wane and the emergence of modern nation-states like France, Sweden, and Brandenburg Prussia began to take shape. The treaty's emphasis on state sovereignty and non-interference in the internal affairs of other states laid the groundwork for the modern system of international relations, where states interact with each other as equals rather than as vassals or subjects. As we explore this period, it becomes clear that the aftermath of the war was marked by a complex and often surprising series of events. The Peace of Westphalia, as it came to be known, was not a single event, but rather a series of treaties and agreements negotiated between various European powers over several years. The treaty's provisions were often vague and open to interpretation, leading to ongoing conflicts and disputes over issues like territorial boundaries and trade agreements. One of the most intriguing aspects of this period is the role played by the Swedish Empire, which emerged as a major power in Europe during the war. Under the leadership of Queen Christina, Sweden began to consolidate its gains, establishing itself as a dominant force in the Baltic region. The Swedish Empire's influence extended far beyond its borders, with Swedish diplomats and politicians playing key roles in shaping European politics and diplomacy. As we delve deeper into this period, we're struck by the sheer scale and complexity of the challenges faced by European states in the aftermath of the war. The devastation wrought by the conflict had left deep scars on the continent's economy, society, and culture. Many cities and regions lay in ruins, their populations decimated or displaced. The task of rebuilding and recovery was daunting, requiring significant investments of resources, manpower, and political will. In the midst of this chaos, we find a poignant expression of the human cost of war, in the words of a contemporary observer. The war has left behind a trail of widows, orphans, and beggars who must now struggle to survive in a world that seems determined to forget them. These haunting words serve as a reminder of the devastating impact of conflict on ordinary people, caught in the crossfire of great power struggles. The Treaty of Westphalia marked a significant turning point, establishing the principles of state sovereignty and non-interference that would shape international relations for centuries to come. The emergence of modern nation-states like France, Sweden, and Brandenburg Prussia laid the groundwork for the complex system of alliances and rivalries that would define European politics in the centuries that followed. In conclusion, the decline and aftermath of the 30 Years' War was a complex and often surprising period, marked by significant challenges and opportunities. As we reflect on this tumultuous era, we're reminded of the enduring legacy of the war, which continues to shape our understanding of international relations, state sovereignty, and the human cost of conflict. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.